Good morning. Good morning. This is the fitness representative bringing you today's edition of the Fitness Report. Got a lot to talk about today. Once again, special day, as they all are. We want to basically tap into just a few of the current events. It's been a lot going on these days within the sports world, within the fitness world, within the social media world. Just a lot going on. So we want to get into what's hot, what's new, and what's all being talked about today. But first, this is the fitness report, and just want to let you guys know that it's not all exercises, it's not all eating right, and it's not all what the gym is about. It's about lifestyle also. It's about who you are as a person. It's about what you do as far as your activities. It's about the things that basically make up who you are and how good it is to be that person. So when we talk about the fitness report, we're not just talking about physical fitness. We're talking about emotional fitness, spiritual fitness, financial fitness. So you will see shows on this. You will see shows about money. You will hear shows about the state of America. You will hear shows about what's going on today, social events, current events. It's not all about exercising, and it's not all about eating well. That's at the forefront, and that should be at the forefront of everyone's life, to stay active, stay healthy, and make sure you eat right. But when you think about life, life is much more than what you get out of that time you spend in the gym. So we just want to let you know that. But today we got a good show coming. It's time to just really get into just some of the things that make your head shake back and forth and really make you think about what's going on in today's world. First, I like to give shout outs. And what we want to do is we want to put the spotlight on small business. We want to put the spotlight on small business. We want to put the spotlight on businesses that are helping out in the community. Give some plugs, some shameless plugs, real quick. First off, we go to the Instagram world. Shout out to the Instagram world. Big business these days. You're getting all this money per post. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of us really don't want to get into it. But if you're a small business person, if you have any type of income coming in through small business, through word of mouth, and different engines like social media, you want to be on Instagram. You want to be Instagram in particular, as far as I'm concerned, for the simple fact that to be an influencer, which that word just popped up out the blue, out of nowhere. Everyone's an influencer now. So it's all about how many followers you have. It's all about how much attention you get per post. And if that number gets high, as that number gets higher and higher, you become known as an influencer. And to be an influencer, you basically you got some say so on different subjects and topics when it comes to just how it is to be a fitness instructor, how it is to be a hairstylist, how it is to be a fashion designer. You're an influencer, so you get free tickets, you get different hookups and connects. I mean, it's kind of cool. So first off, I like to I like to say give my condolences to the family of the victim who was hit and killed by Syracuse coach Jim Boeheim. It was an accident. It was an accident, but on the way from that big victory that Syracuse had the other day, Jim Boeheim's car struck and killed a pedestrian who had, I think their car had stopped or they had gotten into a previous accident, and they walked away from the vehicle. And I guess while walking away from the vehicle, Jim Boeheim's car struck that pedestrian. So shout out, my condolences to the family, and my heart goes out to Jim Boeheim also, because that's just terrible both ways. All right, so like I said, Instagram. Want to take notice on a couple of pages, and I want you guys to follow these pages. First off, My fellas out in the south suburbs doing their things. The page is In Guards We Trust. This is my man Chris, straight out of Harvey World. His son getting it in. They be balling for the south side, south suburbs. In Guards We Trust, at In Guards We Trust. Go check it out on Instagram. Another page I would like to give a shout out to, one of the Loyola boys from the north side. He's at Iowa State doing this thing. Like I said, it's shameless plug time. Shameless plug time. Go check out Five Talon. The number 5, TALEN. Check him out. Check him out. Him and his mom, Shirley Val. This boy's next. Just to let you know, he's next on his way to the league. Just to let you know. And the last but not, and we got two more. We got two more. The other one is for my brother Derek. Shout out to Derek Brooks. Shout out to Derek Brooks, straight out the West Side. He's got a page that highlights his daughter in basketball, and the page is Danielle_Brooks. Danielle_Brooks. Go check it out. And last but not least, to my man Chase Adams. Shameless plug, Chase Adams. Go check out Chase, the number 0, Courage on Instagram. Chase 0 Courage on Instagram. So those are my shameless plugs for the day. And also, of course, myself at Jabori Partee Senior. That's GABORIPARTEE Senior on Instagram. Check me out. A lot of interesting stuff going on in the fitness world, and I like to take charge of different ways to, motivate you guys and get you ready for what's coming when it comes to being in shape. We all like to travel and we all like to look good. Me and my fellas just got back from Puerto Rico, and I basically went on a better diet, a cleaner diet before I went, just to change up some things. I went from 225 pounds, which looked pretty good, but this shirt was like super tight, It looked pretty good though, and now I'm down to 190 pounds. 190 pounds. I didn't really need to lose any weight, My body fat's always under 10%, or between 10 and 12% at around 200 pounds. But, why not challenge yourself to look better or do something different for a period of time and then go back to a normal way of eating? And just to let you guys know that a diet is pretty much anything you put in your body. It's not just a keto, it's not just the Atkins diet or different fad diets. A diet is whatever you put in your body. So we just want to let you guys know that, and we want to let you guys know, if you're going to eat right or if you're going to eat at all, know that that's what a diet is, whatever you put in your body. Okay, so first, we want to go into the first topic of today. We're not going to stay on it too long, but the number to call in is 708-223-8953 if you want to discuss our topic today. We are live on Intellectual Radio. This is the Fitness Report radio show. The number one subject today, and it's being talked about over and over again, and I just want to shed some light on the topic without giving it too much play. First up today is the fashion industry. Just to let you guys know, and I saw this online the other day, and there was really something to be said about it because there was a lot of truth to it. Every time you mention those who keep violating and apologizing, every time you mention it, it's basically more advertisement. It's more advertising. Every time you talk about and name the actual company that keeps perpetrating, is free advertising. And to me, seeing that most of us out there, we basically feel like we've made it once we get to go to the stores and purchase some of the things from the designers who keep perpetrating. We feel like we've made it. It's just like the cars. It's just like the houses. Whatever company is the most popular, if we can get something going and be a part of spending with that company, we feel like we've made it. So the days of small business, I mean, I don't think they'll ever be numbered, but it's always been an assault on small business. It's always been an assault on those designers who aren't millionaires and who don't have the backing of the millionaires to put their products out. Not everyone can get on the runway and have their stuff shown on the runway, whether it's flashy or not, whether it's good stuff or not. You don't have that opportunity a lot of times. But since we want to name off all those designers and make sure basically all those European names that come up every time we think of fashion, those are the people that keep perpetrating. And the more you guys buy into it, the more you go get that purse, the more you go make that purchase and make yourself feel really good based off a purchase that you made. Just think about one thing. At the board of, during the board of the meetings and the minds of those who putting out all this gear is basically a common thread. There's a common thread. And within that common thread, you have who you want to be an audience and who you don't want to be an audience. So if I want skinny people to be the biggest audience, I'm going to advertise for skinny folks. If I want big girls to be the biggest audience, I'm going to advertise for big girls. If I don't want a certain set of people wearing my stuff, especially if it's the people who've been oppressed throughout this entire time and just been flipped and swung and thrown around, knowing that whatever it is that goes on, we're gonna try to adjust so that we can get back to being a part of something, basically inclusion, so that once that purchase is made, we feel like we're a part of something. Without the ability to make those purchases, I really do believe that the melanated people of this world would feel like we just don't matter at all. So since we can't own anything, and since we're pretty much not allowed to have a voice big enough to make a difference like we would like to, we use our purchasing, we use our power in spending. It's a reason that we have the most spending power, because that's kind of like all we do. And that's all we're promoted to do. So when we speak on boycotting, all boycotts should be permanent. When you boycott something for some disrespect, and I'm not talking about in general, I'm talking about to us specifically, you why go back to it? That's your chance to make your own. That's your chance to put your stamp on, especially if you're a fashion designer. That's your chance to put your stamp on what's going on in today. And I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on. The fashion designers of the world, the leaders of the fashion world, they're going to always be disrespectful because they don't need you, even though they need you. It's both ways. They don't respect you, so it's going to be one of those things where they really don't care if you buy it or don't. I don't see too many melanated people on Michigan Avenue or Rodeo or Fifth Avenue making those purchases. So I'm pretty sure that along with just a long line of disrespect and just thinking that you're not on the same level, you're going to get exactly what we're getting out of those designers. As simple as that. The number to call in is 708-223-8953. We are live on Facebook and Intellectual Radio, the Fitness Report radio show. Real quick, I wanted to go into what it is to give someone a gift that counts. Right here, we have fitness certificates. A fitness certificate is basically your way to tell someone who you love that they matter, that their health matters, and that what they do moving forward as far as activities, lifestyle, so forth and so on matters. So if you care about your loved ones and your friends and you want to do something nice for their birthdays or holidays, you give them a fitness certificate. A fitness certificate is good for personal training sessions, is good for activities along with a professional that to guide you in those activities. You can buy as many as you want. The amount is unlimited. The number to call is 312-857-5668. The fitness representative representing fitness for life. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're moving on. We're moving on. Like I said, the number to call in is 708-223-8953. Next up, another hot topic these days because it's been going on under our noses for a long time. And over the last decade or so, it's really been highlighted as far as something needing to be done about it. And I'm an advocate of what needs to be done in some sort. I would like to think I'm from the old school in ways, but at the same time, when things are obvious, you got to kind of notice them for how obvious they are. And when we speak on this next topic, these things are obvious, and if no changes are going to be made, there's going to be an actual problem. It's going to be a problem. So basically, if you think about sports today and you think about how important the athletes are in every nationality, in every group, all the way up to the 1%. Myself, I see on a regular basis, I see the 1%. I hang out with the 1%, and I basically work with the 1%. That's my clientele for the most part, along with, just the regular people, but see a lot of the 1% on a day-to-day basis. And when I think of how much even they look up to athletes and entertainers, it lets me know that entertainment is like way overrated and is way too important in this world. But the only difference is they outside of entertainment, they don't need it. We need it in order to get that money. So it's very controversial because it's two huge spectrums separately within this whole thing. So if you're thinking of athletes and you're thinking of college athletes, what do you think of? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us out here play ball. A lot of us went to school and we saw how the college athletes were praised all the way from the junior colleges. You go to a junior college and the athletes, they might not even make it to a Division I school, but they still think they still think they the man or the woman of the campus based off the hype that they get from the surroundings. So when you think about college athletes at a D1 school and you think of the hype that they get all day long, all year long, and you think of how much they influence the people around them. We get into college basketball and college football in particular. And the next topic that I want to speak on is just one that's been going on for a long time, and we got a lot of different views on this topic. What do you do about these athletes who generate billions and billions of dollars, who are the reasons for the shoe deals for the school, who are the reasons for the new complexes when you go on campus, who are the reasons for all the things that go on when it comes to entertainment for that school? Most people don't know. I know as a kid, I went a long time not knowing that when you go to a college campus, the buildings on the campus are not the school's colors. Me being a Michigan fan, nobody could have told me that every building on the University of Michigan's campus wasn't blue and gold. I thought the whole campus was blue and gold as a kid. Notre Dame thought the whole campus was gold and green. Why? Because of college sports. Notre Dame has had a forever contract with NBC that is through the year infinity. I don't think they'll ever get kicked off TV. They've had some bad seasons, some good seasons, but when you think about it, Notre Dame is known for, at least within the minority world and middle class and stuff like that, even up to the 1%, they're known for football. It's simple as that. They're known for football and touchdown Jesus. They're known for the Irish logo, which is on sports stuff. you know? So when we think of these schools, we think of sports, which means that it's a lot of money going into it for the simple fact that we put it on the pedestal and we look at it as such an important thing, which generates money. Every time something becomes important that could be profitable, it 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 stands out. And what I would like to say is, how do we go about living in a world where if you're making all of the money, you're making 100% of the money. I'm doing about 80 to 90% of the work because okay, you got the coaches. Coaches do their jobs. You got the schools that do their job. You know, that's a percentage. But if I'm doing about 90% of the work and you're getting 100% of the benefit, the financial benefit, because it's all about money. The world, simply put, it's all about money and power. It's simple as that. So if you get 100% of the benefit of what I'm doing, how is it that you can say that what you're doing for me even compares at all? I mean, no doubt, a college degree is worth. You know, they had to put a number amount on it to kind of give you a sense of the comparison when it comes to whether you have one or don't have one. But if you think about it, a college degree is worth whatever it is job you get after you're done with school. If you get a job making $40,000 and you just spent 200,000, 300,000, you ain't really thinking about you're not really thinking about the the worth when it comes to that degree because you're in debt for a long time. A lot of you in debt for the rest of your lives. So I would like to know, what do you guys think about the college athlete who generates all the publicity, all the popularity, all of the money to the school and gets none of it, gets zero? The number to call in 708-223-8953. Call in and give me what you think about the whole just college basketball, college sports in general. Everyone's basically working for free. It's almost equivalent to being in prison and you're working for 14 cents an hour, but you're doing some of the most important work that you could think of, like keeping the roads safe, making all of the street signs and doing stuff like that. You're not getting paid anything, but the benefit for the ones who are getting paid is to keep you locked up. So the benefits of the coaches and the AD and the school is to keep you in school thinking about what it is to get a degree and how important that degree is when they're showing you what's important. If you look at the Duke game the other night, they said the average ticket, which, you know, of course, there aren't all tickets being paid for because you got a lot of students, but they were talking about the average ticket or some of the tickets being almost $3,000 each. Think about it. You got the president sitting behind Duke's bench. You got different guys who are so huge, you know, in this world as far as publicity and popularity. How could you not that night they probably made millions of dollars that night, pretty much, or $1 million at least that night off of just everything that went on within the stadium that night. And then you got an athlete like Zion Williamson, who pretty much the number one everything when it comes to prospects going to the next level. The reason why you giving him the reason why you even letting people know that he's number one is because the popularity. You want him to be popular. You want your system to be popular, and you know where he's going. Everybody's got a job to do. ESPN has a job to do. Duke has a job to do. The NBA has a job to do. So all of these rankings and stuff like that, if you think about it, they're pretty much pumping you up to let you know that, hey, watch more of this guy, which is going to generate me more money, which is going to generate him a bigger contract, and which is going to generate schools a chance to get more and more recruits based off the fact that they got this one special recruit. But you're not telling me, can you honestly say that if all of these guys, these number one picks, all went to, say, Howard or Grambling, wouldn't that be the best team in the nation? Basically, wouldn't whatever school they go to be one of the top schools if they all went to that school? And wouldn't the cameras be at that school? Remember when Randy Moss went to Marshall? Marshall all of a sudden got a little play. Because why? Randy Moss was at Marshall. And we all know what Randy Moss did. So basically what I'm saying is, how can you go hundreds of years as a school? You're getting like I said, I'm around that 1%. And that 1% who is an alumni of one of the huge Big Ten schools, and kids have gone to private universities, and universities where the tuition is well over 200,000, 300,000, and they give every year over $1 million. Every year you're getting between $1 million, 10, $20 million from the alum, from the society, the college societies and stuff like that. They're getting all this money, and I mean, you're still charging, and you're getting all of the income. You're charging people so much for what it is to attend one game, and then nobody gets any of it but the school. The coach is making well over $1 million a year. You got, 15 players per team. They get none of that money. But it's because of those players, the whole world is watching. No one knows about your school outside of the sports, really, except the small percentage of society. So how important these kids are to the school is basically what keeps the school going. And for the kids not to get any money based off that, to me, is something wrong with that. And I would love for you guys to call in. Let me know what you think about that topic, because when you think about school and you think about the fact that you can't even touch none of the recruits. When it comes to hooking one of the players up, he can't get anything. He can't get anything extra. You can't buy him anything. He can't get the shoes. You got the boosters out there. They're boosters for a reason, because it's not legal to do anything for a kid who plays college sports. That's the craziest thing in the world. His mother's struggling because 9 times out of 10, he's from a minority community where it's just the income is maybe 30, 40,000. You think about it, he's struggling. And what he wants to do is get paid. He's trying to get paid. That's the whole point. Kids start going to the NBA from the time they could actually finish high school. That's why they're trying to get paid. The love of the game starts when you're 4 or 5 years old, sometimes a little bit later, but the love of the game is there. By the time I get to college and I'm the man because of what you've told me as ESPN and the Sporting News and all these rankings, I'm ready to get paid. So I really want to know, why shouldn't I be able to get paid as soon as I'm able to? Everyone else does it. Every other sport lets it happen besides football. Football, which is understood. You got to really go hard, and your body has to be able to take up, what happens with that punishment in football. But you take a sport like basketball, where in this day and age, you can't even touch anyone. How do you even do it? So, I mean, I really would like to know what you guys think about that, and like to know what it is that we can do about it. So, it would be nice for you guys to really speak on this one. Caller, the Fitness Representative Show. State your name and where you're from.
It's Chris Thomas from Harvey. You already know, baby.
Chris, what's going on? How you doing, man? Welcome to the Fitness Report radio show.
It's a beautiful thing, bro. How you feeling, man?
All is well. I can't complain. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny outside, and I just got my car out the shop yesterday from 3 weeks down from a car accident, so I can't complain.
Oh, that's all great, man. You been Ubering, bro. You been getting your Uber on, getting your Lyft on.
Oh nah. I'm here at the radio show.
Oh no, I'm talking about since you been without the car.
Oh nah. I'm on the train, brother. I live on the train line.
Hey, you doing it like that?
Yes, we don't Uber around here.
It's super conservative, huh?
Right.
Bro, so growing up, bro, you was one of the best athletes I ever seen, bro.
I can't hear you, brother.
Don't you expound on like not really playing sports, like, but being that great athlete. Like, because a lot of people didn't know you was a great athlete unless they was in our hood. You know what I'm saying?
Right. True.
But if you was on a team, like if you ever would have took the team to like be a part of a team, or you would have been the best player on the team. You never played high school sports with us.
I know. You know what's crazy? I ended up going to Michigan and like kind of blowing up. But you know, Thornton was so full of athletes that it was hard. It was hard when you was short and when you weren't plugged. You know, it was hard to get in there, man. So I remember when I first got in school, we started the Roughnecks because we played ball, but we ended up wrestling because you wasn't a part of that. You already know it was like a system at Thornton.
Yeah.
And if you weren't part of that system and you wasn't trying to break your neck to get in there, you wasn't getting in there. So,
right.
You know,
show up in the weight room. You
right.
Doing the extra stuff.
Yeah. And that's just what it was. So even though I hated moving and leaving Harvey, when I went to Michigan, it was like, boom, it was like a blow up. And I just took it from there. So to answer your question, to be in shape these days, which I see a lot of people just don't even care anymore. They don't even like really care anymore about being in shape at all. It's the influences that you have in your family and the people around you that kind of lead you into what you're going to do once it's all over. So if I think of myself, my uncle, one of my aunt's husband, he was a bodybuilder. We used to always go to the alley, and my Uncle Jerry probably remember this, but we used to go to the alley. Shout out to Jerry Hill. But we used to go to the alley, and he would tell me whatever amount of push-ups I could do, he would double it. And we used to go at it with the push-ups and go at it with the different exercises. And back then we weren't planking and doing all that type stuff, but we basically had some idea of what it is to be in shape. And man, everyone I knew, all the women that were around, like my mom's best friend, Deborah, my aunt's husband, Deborah's boyfriend, they were all bodybuilders. And, you know, bodybuilders were basically kind of like the first versions of personal trainers outside of like Richard Simmons and, you know, all that. So when you see that, you're like, one day this sport thing gonna be over with. And what is it gonna be? What is it gonna be like after that? You know what I'm saying? What's gonna be important after that? How you gonna look good after that if you're not back? But I played basketball throughout my whole military career. That was cool on the team and off, you know, just different times of the military. That was like semi-pro basketball, to be honest. But to be in shape basically is a commitment of yours to say, hey, I want to look like something for the rest of my life. You know, there's a lot of vanity in it. But then once that vanity turns into a lifestyle that's good for your health, you just take it from there, you know? So,
bro, I remember when we were shorties, bro. You was the strongest kid. Remember that time Leonard was talking about shooting you because you went back down, bro. Remember that, bro?
Yeah, that was my cousin. Bro. That's my cousin.
You was the only one wouldn't back down from this guy, bro. And we was shorties, bro. This guy had us by like 6 years.
Yeah, yep. Shout out to Leonard.
Like, man, I couldn't believe you was that strong, bro. Right then and there, it kind of like, man, it woke me up. Like, man, Jabari, like a world-class athlete, man. That big old boy couldn't move him. You know, bro. And then, like, What made you think about shooting with both hands, bro? Like, this was in the 80s, bro. Like, you was doing stuff. Like, I taught my shorty how to do it off what you was doing.
You know what? It was Mike. You remember Mike? Mike had us outside in the cold trying stuff, man. It was Jordan, man. Jordan had us doing. You remember we used to hoop in the backyard at Osiris the Virus house, at Ralph house.
Yeah, at Ralph crib. Yeah, and in the backyard.
Yeah, so everything you saw, you practice it so much that to this day, I go to the court sometimes and do some crazy stuff because it's coming back around. You know, it's kind of like the new thing to do all these crazy shots, like my man from Georgetown.
Yeah.
But you remember we used to practice that every day. I could shoot a reverse layup with the right hand, and the left. Even though I couldn't shoot a regular layup to save my life with the right hand.
Oh man, you like you used to have somebody jump.
Yeah, it had to be some.
You had to have a degree of difficulty to your shot. I remember that.
True, yeah. But you know what?
Flipping off the garages, bro. All of that, bro.
That was the 80s and 90s, man, and that was a world that you just don't see anymore. And one thing I can say in seeing you and how you teach your son, I want to say first off, I'm proud of you for that because your son is on his way. And if he and I'm gonna tell you why. It's not because of what he does on the court. It's how disciplined he is and how good he looks with the system that's in place. Yourself, right. Your assistant coaches, obviously the mom probably, but I tell you what, every time I see your son, he has a look on his face that said, hey, this is just what I do. This doesn't make me. This is just what I do. This is another outlet. This is another tool to use. But guess what? I'm a good kid without this. I'm a smart kid without this. And that right there, I commend you for that. You're a great father, and I love to see you out there with your kid doing your thing.
Man, I love you, bro, man. I really, I know you at the talk show, man, bro. So like, man,
no doubt.
Check in anytime.
No doubt. No doubt. So yeah, just look at that date, and you're gonna see yourself up in here with Lil Chris and the gang sitting next to me. I gotta have you guys on the show, man.
Oh man, we there, bro. Just say the word, bro. I'm coming, bro. No doubt. You got my word. You know how we do it. Harvey World, bro.
Harvey World. Much love. I'll talk to you soon, Chris. Good talking to you, man.
All right, bro. Love.
All right. Well, as you see, ties go way back. And when you talk about sports always takes you to another time in your life when it counted and when you did things that people remember. So for him to call in and get that memory right there, that's touching type stuff that goes along with sports. So, it lets you know how important it is. It lets you know how important the effect you have on people is when it comes to memories and when it comes to you consistently doing that as you grow older. So I would love to always be in shape. I would love to always have that effect on people because simply put, you just don't know who's watching. You don't know who's watching. And if you can ask 5 people about me that I haven't seen in 20 years, they'll tell you that I could not hit a layup unless somebody jumped with me. It was simple as that. I'll blow the layup by myself all day as a kid. But it's good when you got people who really remember what's going on with you and see that you're kind of a testament to it even to this day. So that gives you more incentive not to fall off. Life has its times of difficulties, but it gives you all the reason in the world not to fall off and all the reason to stay really just aware of what's going on around you because you never know who's watching. So as I look on FB Live and I'm seeing all these people commenting about college, I agree with you guys. And I think we all can agree, even though we look at one part and that's the money, I think we all can agree that the way that sports in general has taken over the society, and how the minorities have kind of taken over sports, you, you can't help but think of slavery when it comes to sports. I've been to a few basketball combines here in Chicago at the Moody Bible. I've been to a few of them, and basically you see all of the minorities out there on that court. And I'm not talking about just the melanated ones. I'm talking about the white kids too, the European kids too. You see all of the money in the stands. And when you see that, you basically look at it. If you're looking at it from another point of view outside of being an athlete or outside of being a fan, you also have to look at the fact that it's their business. And their business is number one over everything. And it's always been like that since the days of slavery, since the days of basically you not being human. So when you think about that and you think about how everyone always says in baseball, well, you don't have too many black baseball players anymore. If we're going off a color scheme, that's all you got. Because you go to them islands, and we had this debate all the time. Them islands are full of people who got dropped off before we did. That's all that is. And they're full of people who look the part for what's going on in their area. So when you go to the islands, whether it's the Spanish islands or the British islands, you often see a color scheme that goes along with the labor and the color scheme that goes along with the leadership. And that's how it is in sports. So when you think about athletes, especially college athletes, if you look at Zion Williamson had on a pair of shoes the other night, Paul George Nikes. They were old in basketball world. They were old. They were talking about that on TNT. You shouldn't even wear those shoes more than a week. And if you look at Zion's shoes have been worn probably since he got to Duke. So that if you got that contract going, it's not like you're in high school. We used to have a Nike contract when I was in high school, but we got one pair a year. We got a free pair a year, and it was on you to wear whatever else you wanted to wear. I'm pretty sure that's not the case in college. I'm pretty sure they get more stuff than that. I'm pretty sure they got access to a little bit more than what we see. So for them not to get paid, and for someone like Zion Williamson to hurt himself and kind of like really put some questions in the doubt of those same owners who are in the stands looking and scouting, is basically one of them things where, hey, I mean, you're like a cattle. You're like cattle. You're like that big cow. And I'm going to graze you and graze you and graze you. But at the end of the day, because I grazed you, I got to get paid off grazing you. You know, I'm going to give you some benefit. The cattle eats all the grass he needs in the whole world. You know, the players, they get all of the publicity, all of the love, but the owner's been there since the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. The players there at the most, I don't even know the numbers of the average player that the average player stays on one team, but it's only a few years, especially today when everybody banding up to try to beat one team and do little stuff like that. But if you think about college sports, you going to be one and done. It's just that so many aren't ready to be one and done. That's why it's even an argument, period. Because outside of the ones who aren't ready to be one and done, if everyone could be one and done, they would be. If everyone could go to high school, they would. The only argument they have as far as not paying these players right now is the fact that not all the players are equal, and not all of the players command double digit millions in the shoe deal and stuff like that. So for it to be this huge discrepancy in where the money goes, and the fact that even if I'm your boy and I'm from the streets and I'm from the hood, I can have ties that are all legit. I can't even give you a sandwich. That's those type rules got to go away. And if you want to get rid of the boosters and the people who do a lot of illegal stuff under the table, America, do it how you've always done everything else. Make sure you get all the money you need out of it, and then change it. Okay, so guess what? You've gotten all the money you need out of these players. You've gotten all of the success for your schools and your campus out of these players. So how about finally legalizing the fact that, I mean, you see the weed, you see how important weed was and how much money is sold under the table. You finally legalize it after you got all of the benefit from, something. Then you legalize it. America, that's just what you do. So if you could take the time to, and this is to America. If you could just take the time to think about all of the success you've had in taking what you want, all of the success you've had in doing whatever it is you want to do when it comes to business, when it comes to the people, when it comes to laws and rules. If you could take the success that you've had while doing all those things and put it into a dollar amount, all of the stealing and killing and all of the things you've done to get this success, and how you've basically outlived, at least as for now, you've outlived all of those who know that you're wrong, who know that what you're doing is not right, and that you pretty much need all the poor people in order to keep that power. Since you've gained all of this success from that, how about giving back sometimes to the point where at least for a year it could kind of look a little bit closer and not so much of a discrepancy between the two sides. That's all we can ask for the simple fact that we don't have the power. You guys have the power, and for that reason right there, throw us a bone for a law that says, hey, can we get some of this power into legislature that says that it's okay to be powerful also? Because America, your people feel powerless, and your people are powerless for the simple fact that we don't do anything, we don't get anything, we can't say anything. Nothing changes until you're ready for it to do so. As simple as that. And we can have that conversation all day, but we all know that nothing changes until America says, hey, let's change it. We've gotten what we needed. We want more, but we've gotten what we needed. All right, let's try to change some things. And it's got to stop. So just asking America for a second. Just asking America for a second. Give us some leniency real quick. Let us get a couple of things that count while you get all of the things that count. Let us get a couple of them, and I'm pretty sure that we'll be pretty cool with that going forward. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys today for tuning in. It's been a great topic. Remember, the Fitness Report radio show comes on every Friday, 11 a.m. Central, 12 Eastern, and you can catch me, the fitness representative, on Facebook as well as Instagram at JaboriPartySenior.com. Fitness representative, representing fitness for life. Let's go. Don't wanna let you go. Let go. Don't wanna let it go. Let go. Don't wanna let you go. Let go. Don't wanna let you go.